The Microtox LX ISO 11348-3 test is used for the determination of the inhibitory effect of water samples on the light emission of Vibrio fischeri using freeze-dried bacteria. To begin using the Microtox LX with a test such as the ISO 11348-3 test, select the appropriate option from the drop-down menu, ISO test 11348-3, GL1 to GL16. Place cuvettes in incubator wells A1 through A5, B1 through B5, C1 through C5, D1 through D5, E1 through E5, F1 through F5, and the reagent well. Add 1,000 microliters distilled water to the cuvette in the reagent well. Make this solution for freeze-dried bacteria or purchase FDB solution from Modern Water. Add 200 microliters FDB solution to cuvettes in B1, C1, E5, and F5. Add 500 microliters FDB solution to the cuvettes in B2 through B5, C2 through C5, E1 through E5, and F1 through F4. Add 1,000 microliters diluent to the cuvette in D3. Add 1,500 microliters diluent to the cuvettes in A3 through A5 and D1 through D2. Add 2,000 microliters diluent to the cuvettes in A1 and A2. Add 10 milliliter sample to a test tube. Add 0.2 grams of solid AR grade sodium chloride to the test tube and mix. Add 1,500 microliters osmotically adjusted sample to the cuvette in D2 and mix using the pipetter. Add 2,000 microliters osmotically adjusted sample to the cuvettes in D3 through D5 and mix using the pipetter. Make 1 to 2 serial dilutions by transferring 1,500 microliters from D2 to A5 and A5 to A3, mixing after each transfer. Discard 1,500 microliters from A3. Make 1 to 2 serial dilutions by transferring 1,500 microliters from D3 to D1 and D1 to A4, mixing after each transfer. Discard 1,500 microliters from A4. Wait 10 minutes. Reconstitute a vial of Microtox acute toxicity reagent by removing a single vial of reagent from the freezer. Open the vial with a minimum of handling to reduce warming of the vial. Shake and tap the vial gently to ensure the pellet of bacteria is seated on the bottom of the vial. Take the pre-cooled cuvette of reconstitution solution from the reagent well. Then quickly pour the solution into the opened vial. Swirl the vial 3 or 4 times, then quickly pour the mixture back into the cuvette and return it to the reagent well. Mix the bacteria thoroughly using the pipetter by aspirating and dispensing 0.5 milliliters of solution at least 10 times. Reconstituted bacteria should be used within 3 hours of reconstitution. Further tests after this period require the preparation of freshly reconstituted bacteria. Transfer 10 microliters of reagent to cuvettes B1, C1, B2, C2, B3, C3, B4, C4, B5, C5, E1, F1, E2, F2, E3, F3, E4, F4, E5, and F5, mixing each cuvette after each transfer. Wait 15 minutes. After waiting 15 minutes, press the Start button in the software to begin the test. Follow on-screen instructions, placing the highlighted vial into the read well and pressing the Read button on the instrument to record it. Read cuvettes B1, C1, B2, C2, B3, C3, B4, C4, B5, C5, E1, F1, E2, F2, E3, F3, E4, F4, E5, and F5. Immediately transfer 800 microliters from A1 to B1 and C1, 500 microliters from A2 to B2 and C2, 500 microliters from A3 to B3 and C3, 500 microliters from A4 to B4 and C4, 500 microliters from A5 to B5 and C5, 500 microliters from D1 to E1 and F1, 500 microliters from D2 to E2 and F2, 500 microliters from D3 to E3 and F3, 500 microliters from D4 to E4 and F4, and 800 microliters from D5 to E5 and F5. Press the Start button to begin timer. After timer is completed, read cuvettes again as prompted to record IT. If multiple time points have been selected, repeat the previous step for each time point.